Welcome dear student. In my channel we are dealing with the animal diversity third. In animal diversity third, after the scales and fins in fishes, we will move to the class amphibian. In case of this class amphibian, we are going to deal with the general characters of amphibia along with the classification of amphibia and parental care in amphibia. So these are the bits that we are going to deal from amphibia. In today's lectures, we are going to deal with the general characters of amphibia. But before going to deal these general characters, you are requested to subscribe my channel, press the bell icon for the updated video or latest video, and if you like the video, please press the like button. So let's start the general characters of amphibia. This amphibia, amphi means the individuals which are living in the different kinds of the habitats. It lives in water as well as it lives on the land. Though it lives into the water, that is aquatic habitat, but it is chiefly restricted to fresh water. It is only found in fresh water as well as on the land, not into the marine water. Remember this thing. So this is fresh water as well as terrestrial, aquatic as well as terrestrial. In aquatic, it is lives only in fresh water. Then body divisible into head, neck and trunk. So these are the three regions of the body of amphibian: head, neck and trunk. Then skin, which is a smooth, moist and rich in mucous glands. Scales absent in these kinds of the skin. On the skin scales are absent. Skin is a smooth, moist and rich in mucous gland which secrete the slimy mucus secretion and keeping the skin moist. Then respiration on the land by the lungs, because lungs are developed for respiration, but in water through the skin and gills. So the gills are main respiratory organ in water. Most of the individuals with limbs and some are without limbs. Examples: apodons are without limbs, that ichthyophis or the Sicilians. And remaining, there are three important subclasses: apoda, urodela and anura. We will see this later on. In case of these individuals which are not having the limbs, these are apodons, while the urodelans and anurans are with the limbs. Endoskeleton is large and it is a bony. Vertebral column is present. Pelvic and pectoral girds are present. So these pelvic, pectoral girdles which are present, and these are well developed in case of anura or highly developed amphibians. Then these amphibians are having three-chambered heart. Heart is three chambers, while in case of Pisces we have seen the heart is two chambers. Here in case of amphibian, one chamber is going to be added. So two auricles and one ventricle. So they are having two auricles and one ventricles, but in case of Pisces only one auricle and one ventricle is present. Then brain is well developed with forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain structures and 10 pairs of cranial nerves. So this is again important structure, that 10 pairs of cranial nerves arises from the craniums or that brain. Then cloaca with urinary bladder is also developed in case of this amphibian, where these kinds of the bladder which is not seen in Pisces. Then kidneys are mesonephric, and this is the middle kidneys or somewhat developed kidney from pronephros. Pronephric, mesonephric and metanephric. These are the three modification into the kidneys as far as the complexity of the individual increases from the lower individual to higher individual. And most of the forms undergo hibernation. Hibernation, it is commonly called as winter sleep. In case of the winter, these individuals just goes under the mud or under the sand and deep under these kinds of the mud or the sand to generally hibernates or inactive condition. In that condition, the heart rates become slower down and all physiological activities decline, so that the energy demand is very less, and this condition is called as hibernation because the individual is cold blooded. These cold bloodeds or phyclothermic individuals, they show such kinds of the phenomenon, that is hibernation as well as the estivation in dry summer. Hibernation, which is called as a winter sleep, it is in winter, and some are having estivation, that is called as the summer sleep commonly. This has been carried out only by the cold blooded individuals, while these are also called as the phyclothermic individuals. And in case of these gnathostomes, pisces, amphibians and reptiles are cold blooded, while aves and mammals are warm blooded, or these warm blooded are also called as homeotherm. And these cold blooded can generally cope up with the adjusting or just changing temperature, and they can adjust themselves. But in case of aves and mammals, our body temperature is constant. So this is about the cold blooded natures of this amphibian. Then examples are Ichthyophis, Necturus and Buffo. Ichthyophis from Sicilians or Apoda, Necturus from Ureodella, then Buffo from Anura. So likewise, these are the examples, three representative examples from three subclasses of amphibia. So these are the general characters of class amphibia. Hope you understood all the characters in animal diversity. After the general characters of the amphibian, we will see the classification of amphibian. We will see this major subclasses of the class amphibia after its characters. So this class amphibia, as you know, it is aquatic as well as terrestrial individuals which are living in water as well as on the land. But though they are living into the water, only in fresh water, not in marine waters, in not kinds of the amphibian found in marine waters. Remember this thing. So this class amphibians, which broadly classified into three important subclasses. The first subclass is Apoda or Gymnophoina, that is limbless amphibian. These are commonly called as limbless amphibian. Apoda means absence of locomotory organ, or it is also called as Gymnophoina. Then the second class is Ureodella or Caudata. Remember this thing, we have already studied in Protochordate, that is Urochordata. Uros means tail. So this Della means bearing, the individuals which are bearing the tail, or it is also called as Caudata, that is the tail is presence. So that is Urochordate, Ureodella. Then third one is Anura, or it is also called as this Salientia, Anura or Salientia. So this is the highly developed amphibians. Example is frog. So likewise, these are the three broad subclasses of class amphibia. We'll see one by one. The first subclass is Apoda, in which the locomotory appendages are absent, which is also called a Gymnophoina. The characters of this Apoda or Gymnophoina are, they are without limbs and tails. These Gymnophoina or Apodans are without limbs, or they are not having the tail. But here in Ureodella, this body is having the head, trunk and tail. So these are the three regions of the body in this Caudata or Ureodella, and body is long, narrow, comprising this head, trunk and tail. While in case of this Anura or Salientia, the body is short, broad and comprising only head and trunk. In case of Anura, only two regions of the body, head and trunk. In case of this Ureodella, three regions, head, trunk and tail, while in case of Apoda, without limbs. So this is the first distinguishing characters. Then in case of these Apodans, the girdles are absent. Girdles means pectoral girdles and pelvic girdles, where the appendages are joined or attached. But appendages are absent, that's why there is no role of the girdle. That's why girdles are automatically absent in the apodons. While in Urodela, the girdles are present. In case of this Anura, girdle is also present. And here, in case of this Urodela, tail used for locomotion both on land as well as in water. So in water and on the land, the tail is used for locomotions along with these tetrapod structures. Salamanders are tetrapods. Here also, these anurans are also having the girdles and they are also tetrapods and they locomote with the help of these tetrapod structures. In case of anurans, the larva which is having the tail, but as the larva converts as the larva converts into the adults by the process of metamorphosis, the tail is going to be lost and it is only having the forelimbs and hind limbs, that is tetrapod structures. Here, in case of Apoda, body elongated, worm-like, consist only head and trunk. So these head and trunks are present in case of these apodons. Then skin contains minute dermal scales. So the dermal scales are present in Apoda on the skin, as well as eyes are small and non-functional. In these kinds of the apodons, eyes are small and non-functional. Skin is having the scales, dermal scales, and the male with a copulatory organ, so the fertilization is internal. Male with a copulatory organ, that's why the fertilization is internal. Development may be direct or with a larval stage, that is indirect, having external gills. And these apodons are commonly called as Sicilians or blind worms. They are commonly called as Sicilians or blind worms, and the examples are Ichthyophis and Siphonops. So these are the examples of Apoda or Gymnophoina. Sicilians, they are commonly called as Sicilians or the blind worms because the eyes are small and non-functional, that's why they are called as the blind worms. Body is elongated, worm-like, and that's why they are having the worm-like appearance. Examples are Ichthyophis and Siphonops. Here in case of Urodela, adults and larvae are similar in appearance because because these adults have retained the many larval characters or the structures. This called as the pedomorphosis or neoteny. So these are the important words. This pedomorphosis or neoteny. Neoteny in Amphibia as well as a pedomorphosis in Amphibia, in which the adults retain the larval characters or larvae which generally develop the mature sexual characters so that it can having the capacity to reproduce. So that is the peculiarity in case of this Urodela or Caudata. They are commonly called as salamanders. Fertilization is internal. Fertilization is usually internal in these kinds of the Urodels, and they are generally includes salamanders as well as newts. Newts and salamanders comes under these Urodels, and examples are Necturus, Proteus, Chiron, Amplastoma, Salamandra. So these are the examples of Urodela or Caudata. Then here we see in Anura, skin is scaleless. Over the skin, scales are absent in Anura. Then forelimbs are short and with 4 digits, while the hind limbs are long as well as stout with 5 digits and adapted for the leaping and swimming. So that is the use of this hind limbs. Then these are the first vocal vertebrates, means they can produce the sound. Vocal cords are present so that they can produce the sounds. In case of generally male, these vocal cords are present so that they can make the croaking sounds. Then fertilization is external. So this is important feature in this anurans, external fertilization. Male and female come closer, male mount over the female. This process is called as aplexus, and they releases the gametes. and the gametes fertilize outside the body. So that is external fertilization. Larvae differ from adult, and again with the help of metamorphosis this larva converts into adult, because larva is having the tail, larva is having the gill for respiration. It has also developed the lateral line organ for detecting the water currents or the flow of water. Then as it converts, as it develops into adult, automatically tail disappears and gills also disappear, and it develops the lungs for respirations. So that is a peculiarity of anurans. And examples are pipa, buffo, hyla, as well as toad. So these are the distinguishing characters of three important subclasses of class Amphibia, which belongs from this gnathostomes. First is Apoda or Gymnophoina, then second is Ureodella or Caudata, third is Anura or Salientia. And the examples of Apoda are Ichthyophis and Siphonops. Examples of Ureodella are this Necturus, Proteus, Ceron, Amblastoma, Salamandra. And the examples of Anura or Salientia are Pipa, Buffo, Toad, Hyla. So likewise, these are the distinguishing characters of three subclasses of class Amphibia. Hope you understand all these three classes very well. Dear student, we have seen the general characters of class Amphibia along with the characters or distinguishing characters of three subclasses from class Amphibia, which include Apoda, Ureodella and Anura. Now we will see the representative examples from these three subclasses. As the specimen bottles are in front of you, you are just seeing these kinds of the bottles which include the representative examples from these three subclasses. So this first one, which is the Ichthyophis, or it is commonly called as the Sicilians. So these are the apodons which are not having any locomotory organ. The second one is Salamander, belong from the subclass Salamandra. These remaining three are the representative examples or the animals belongs from the subclass Anura, which are having the tetrapod structures and the tail is absent. So we'll see one by one. These three are from Anura. So we'll see the first one, that is this Ichthyophis, which belong from the Apoda. So this is Ichthyophis, which is called as a limbless amphibian because the locomotory appendages are absent. It is not having any locomotory organs, and these are commonly called as the Sicilians. So this is about the structure. It is having the elongated long body and without any kinds of the limbs or appendages. And in these individuals, eyes are very small and they are not well developed, and they are not used for just seeing the objects. That's why these are commonly called as the blind worm. Worm-like structures, worm-like body, and commonly called as a Sicilian, limbless amphibian. So this is the Ichthyophis, belong from the subclass Apoda. Then we will see the next individual, that is Salamander, belongs from the subclass Ureodella. So this is just lizard-like individual, though it just look like as a lizard, but it is not a lizard. It is amphibian, that is Ureodel, having the tail. Uros means the tail. Tail is present. That's why they are called as Ureodel. Examples are these salamanders and newts.
So the peculiar characters in this individual that they show the neoteny in which the adults which retain the larval characters. So which is the peculiarity of these individuals or the ureodeles. Tail is present, but it is also having the tetrapod structures. Forelimbs and hind limbs are present, but along with that it has the tail. So this is the amphibians with tail, Ureodella, and the example is salamander. Then we will see the representative examples from Anura. As you know, all these kinds of the amphibians are only found in freshwater as well as on the land. Though they found on the land, but not away from the freshwater body, just near to the freshwater body. So this is Hyla, which is commonly called as a tree frog, in which the tetrapod structure is present. And the one more thing is that this body is not, in case of Ichthyopis, body is not divisible into different regions, head, trunk, tail. Likewise, in case of this salamander, body is divisible into this head, trunk, tail, like these kinds of the part, head, trunk and tail. Then in case of this Hyla, they are having the, in case of not only Hyla but Anurans, their body is divisible into only two regions, that is head and trunk. So this is about the Hyla, which is commonly called as tree frog. So this is tree frog living on the trees at a freshwater body. This is a ventral view of the Hyla. Hind limbs are so long, they are used for leaping, just to jump. Then in case of this toad, which is also having this tetrapod structure, forelimbs are short as compared to the hind limbs, which are broad and long. So this is a toad. Then we will see the next one. This is Rana tigrina, common Indian frog. So this is again, forelimbs are short, hind limbs are broad and long. This is a ventral view of the individual Rana. Body is having the dotted, eyes are present, well developed as compared to the Sicilians. Then nostrils or the nasal openings are present on the head. At the dorsal side, these are the nasal openings. Just behind that, the eyes are present on the dorsal side. A urinary bladder is present in amphibian. That is the peculiarity over the Pisces. So likewise, these are the representative examples from three subclasses in amphibians. Hope you like and understood the all characters of this class Amphibia along with the characters of these three subclasses and the representative examples from these three subclasses. Thank you very much for watching the entire video, and please do subscribe my channel. And if you are having any comments, please write your comment in comment box. And if you like the video, please press the like button.